The Dark Troopers.
The Dark Troopers.
What did you guys think of the Dark Troopers?
Dark Troopers. Are they Dark Troopers or Death Troopers?
Death Troopers, I think.
I wasn't sure because I thought
I
they were Death Troopers because they feel like the next step up from the things you see in Rogue One.
Yeah.
But then I'm pretty sure when I watched it today,
It was Dark Troopers.
it was Dark Troopers. And I was only half listening.
Sure, people will let us know.
For full disclosure, I thought, I'll tweet this. This will be funny, and tweet. None of the people in that room know that he made out with his sister with a picture of Luke and picture of all the people in that room. And obviously, I needed to get a screenshot, so I put the episode on, and then the episode was so awesome, I just watched the whole thing.
For the third time?
Yeah, for a
Because
tweet.
we've watched it twice already.
We have watched it
I haven't
twice
seen
already,
it the second time yet, but I've seen it the first time.
You haven't seen it once?
Yeah, I've seen it once. So I do want to go
Really?
back and rewatch
Some of the goods.
filth. Yeah.
There was a lot of filth, wasn't there?
There was a
I
lot.
think
It was.
the moment where Mando is trying to shut the door and he's facing that one Dark Trooper, that was a really good sequence.
That was very good.
Absolutely.
Fantastic tension of him trying to stop them all coming through whilst fighting this unstoppable Terminator figure. I loved how as well they had basically like shotguns. You could tell they were riffing on Terminator, couldn't you?
Yeah, no, definitely. I really like the way some of it was cut together, that scene. I think they did a really good job of it in the Prisoner episode last season as well with what's the big fella?
The Deveronian.
Yeah, where
Dirk.
they did a really good thing with doors. It seems where like they keep cutting where you think that like the Death Troopers have got away or something, or he's trapped him in that room.
Yes,
and then it'll just cut to like the hands being in and putting it apart. Like I feel like the way they cut down the shots together is like not how you're used to seeing cuts before. Does that make sense with action? And I feel like a few times with this, like I was not expecting. Oh, just one of them's gonna get out. They're all gonna go. Oh wait, hold on a minute. This one's like beating the crap out of him. I just really like the way that the action was actually shot and cut together in that sequence.
And it actually avoided the Terminator thing of, oh, I'm a machine that can easily punch through your chest. I'm going to pick you up and throw you now. Like, we were actually just about to make fun of it for doing that. And then instead of him throwing him, he punches him again and again in the helmet.
Brilliant. That was really good.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And don't get me wrong, he does throw him after. But
yes.
that makes it's smooth.
It feels earned, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
it's
does
more,
feel
it's more
earned,
like the robots, like,
they
must try new strategy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Punchy helmet, no worky.
Exactly.
They are scary though, like the big red eyes that they have.
They feel unstoppable.
Yeah, they do. They really do. And it's clever how they got rid of them and then brought them back later on.
Yes.
I really liked that.
Yes. And I liked that he kind of did the aliens, the final alien reference of the season.
Yes.
Flushed them all out.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of alien references.
Yeah. It's come full circle now, hasn't it? Yeah. And I did also really very much like the Beskar spear Darksaber fight, which I didn't think I would like, because when he got the spear in episode 5, I was a bit like, oh, okay, don't know if I need that.
Yeah, it was. I really like that, and I think because I felt the same as you. I was like, oh, I don't really need to have him with a spear now, sort of thing. But then I remembered that Mr. Pedro Pascal was in Game of Thrones also with a spear, and that he can do a lot of that stuff himself. And then as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, this makes sense that he's swinging a spear around and whacking it if he can do it himself. So even though you can't see his face anyway,
it's cool. I think you guys might feel the same as me in the sense that it's just always a bit iffy when you start to go down the road of like giving non-Jedi and Sith like melee weapons and Star Wars.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? Like Moff Gideon having the Darksaber. I mean, I've always found it odd that the Darksaber is kind of like a
thing anyway. I agree.
Yeah, because it's essentially a lightsaber for people that don't have the Force.
Yeah.
In terms of the narrative, because it's always like a Mandalorian or obviously Moff Gideon, people that don't have Force powers that use it. And it's always weird, isn't it? Once you cross that line,
I quite like the idea that there are people who can fight the Jedi who don't have the Force, or can fight the Sith that don't have the Force. Like there's like a balance. Like he's got a weapon that can go up against a lightsaber. Because really, if someone's coming at you with a lightsaber, you're dead. That's it. Game over.
I do like that. I just think it's...
Well, I don't know anymore.
It's a bit tricky sometimes.
I don't know anymore. The lightsaber, for me, doesn't feel as dangerous as it once used to. Especially when it comes to, like... I didn't know that, like, Beskar can just deflect that shit. I didn't know that until this show.
I think that was established in this season.
Really? Because I was like... Because things like that, I'm like, whoa, okay, well, then what... Why are we using these lights? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is the real?
Well, I mean,
obviously there's still.
I think there's always got to be
there's
always got to be something to counter. It.
I like it because the lightsaber is a technological feat of the Jedi. It's not tied to the Force in the same way. So it should have, you know, like countermeasures as
Yes.
would any piece of technology.
Yeah.
And also, we've always seen, haven't we, things that can stop lightsabers, like the Magna Guards from episode 3, the Guards in episode 8.
Yeah.
So it's nothing new.
Yeah, that's
and I like
true,
the idea that the Mandalorians would have this really like expensive
I do
armor.
think it definitely. I tell you what I do like about it is that it does make you understand how what's the right word, like precious Beskar is.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like how, and it makes you understand that whenever he walks into somewhere, there's going to be some fucker that wants to steal it off
Yes.
him.
And
Do you know what I mean? I like that.
As soon as he blocked a lightsaber with it, you really understood why it's so expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because you'd love to have a suit of Beskar, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Even as like a
100%.
Jedi or a Sith, if you had a suit of
Yeah.
Beskar.
I don't know why they don't. I guess they're just too powerful. But
Should make General Grievous out of Beskar.
why is
Oh
Darth
my
Vader not
God.
made out of Beskar?
Yeah.
Or
I
the
mean,
Stormtroopers?
But if it belongs to if it
No,
belongs to
yeah, of
Mandalorians,
course,
then
And
you know they're
obviously
not
there's
gonna.
already- I imagine there's a
I'm
finite amount as well.
yeah, I'm assuming it's very hard to find.
Yeah.
Although when you put it like that, it is weird to think that this bounty hunter has got like a lightsaber-proof outfit on, and then Darth Vader, who's at the height of the Empire, can't get like a Beskar suit.
Yeah.
Like, surely the Empire will be able to source some Beskar.
Yeah, surely.
I don't know.
That's weird,
I guess
isn't it? I don't
the more you unpick these sorts of things, the messier
yeah,
it
of
gets.
course, yeah, it's, you know.
But I do like the retcon that Boba's armor was Beskar.
Yes.
Because I always kind of assumed this season, I was like, oh, well, his
So
armor's
did I.
kind of crappy. Maybe he'll get like a new armor to like match Mandalorian's Beskar. I just like they just said, oh no, it's always been Beskar. And actually, there's a deleted scene from Attack of the Clones, which I discovered recently, where you know when Mace Windu basically charges at Jango and then immediately lops his head off. He cuts off his gun, then he lops his head off. That was originally going to be like a couple of seconds longer, and you can actually see Jango blocks Mace Windu's lightsaber twice with his gauntlets.
Oh, sweet.
So-
So it was already established.
Well, I don't know if it was established that it was Beskar,
I see, Sam.
and obviously in the finished film he never blocks a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe they decided later on, oh, it's too much.
But that idea was already
Was
on
already, yeah.
Lucas's mind. Yeah,
Yes,
so.
definitely. Yeah, and also
That's
it's bizarre to see it because it's not like the effects aren't put in, but it's just weird to see him like blocking Mace
Yeah.
Windu's because that's such an image that's ingrained from childhood of seeing Mace Windu
Just
rush
lop
at
his
him.
head off.
Yeah, just lop his head off.
With
Yeah.
ease.
But also it makes me think it's Beskar the helmet, right? So if Mace Windu had just been like a couple of inches higher,
Yeah, it would have.
it wouldn't have done
knocked his
nothing.
helmet,
yeah. Although I reckon he then would have swung backwards and then had another go.
yeah. Exactly.
Django's like, I'm saved. But yeah, Beskar gets it done.
Beskar gets it done.
Shall we move on to Luke Skywalker? I don't think we can wait any longer,
I
can
think
we?
it's time.
Is there anything else you'd like to get off your chest that you liked in this episode before we move to the big boy?
I just want to say that I would die for Grogu, but that's about it.
You'd die for Grogu.
I would. I would die for Grogu.
You've been sucked in by the Disney marketing machine.
I really have, because I don't know what they're going to do with him now. Like, Grogu's not with the Mandalorian. Do I still want to watch it?
Oh, I can't see a Mandalorian season 3 where it's not immediately picking up him meeting
same.
Grogu again. I'd be very surprised if Grogu's not in it, or if he becomes like a support in that show. Like he pops up now and then. I don't think they'll go for like a new storyline.
Yeah, I'd be surprised by that. I tell you what I did quite like. I quite liked the stuff with Moff Gideon, actually. I found it quite surprising. I wasn't expecting him to be a bit more, what's the word, like, understanding of things. And I know he tries to, like, do him over, but do you know what I mean? In terms of, like, I wasn't expecting it to sort of go the way it did, and I think that was...
Yeah.
Well, I expect, obviously, we expected, he's going to have some big battle with him or whatever. But I quite liked how it become a bit more of a, like a... Well, did you know that, she needs to fight someone for that? Like, I mean, he could become a bit Palpatine-y, didn't he? Where he was trying to play them all off each other, which I like, because I was like, okay, that's he's intelligent. We're seeing his intelligence now. We're seeing why he survives. I think that's what...
And also, it feels Palpatine-y in the same way that I like to think he threw the fight with Mace Windu, because he knew Anakin was turning up. I
always like to think that.
Yeah, because that's a way more palpy thing to do, isn't it?
When he says, I'm too weak, I don't buy it for a fucking second.
No,
because immediately after he gets involved, he goes, unlimited power! He just fucking electrocutes him. So I don't believe that for a second.
I can't believe how many times I've heard you say the phrase unlimited power.
Just on my desk
often.
randomly.
Yeah, it's true.
So do you think Moff Gideon pulled a palpy and fell on his sword on purpose?
Ooh.
Because when I was watching today, I was trying to look to see if it was perfect.
I think it was all quite calculated because if Luke Skywalker hadn't shown up, they'd all be dead. Like,
yes, that's true. So his plan could have been, right, well, I'm going to...
He was expecting old. None of us were. I don't think he was expecting Mr.
Oh, no. The shot of his face when they're like, it's a Jedi, he's like, oh, no. He's gone tits up. I like that he tried to kill himself when all else was lost.
Yes, that was cool. I forgot about that. Yeah, he did, didn't he? And the way they do it was quite cool. Cause
yes.
I actually did think for a second, oh, wait, he's going to...
Yeah. And also, I think it's interesting because he obviously didn't save the crew members, in the heiress in Chapter 3, and they had to kill themselves. So it's kind of interesting to see, like, oh, well, to be fair, when he's put in the same situation, he won't
did
hesitate.
The same, yeah, which is cool.
But yeah, no, I thought it was cool that he kind of instigated the whole thing with Bo-Katan and Mando, where it's like, well, you can't just give it over, you have to kill them.
That was cool.
I also think the whole episode with the Darksaber stuff was really clever, because when we watched it back, there was like loads of hints to it. So like when Bo-Katan was like, as long as he surrenders to me, like I don't care. And then when he like spared his life, he was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. And at the time you were like, but then it all comes together, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's really interesting that she said, as long as he surrenders to me.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Because that's kind of like, it's vague enough that you don't get until later on.
Because you think she's just a bit obsessed with killing him, with him submitting to her, but actually it's all about the Darksaber. Or she means it more of a
general sense of like, do you know what I mean? When she means as long as he surrenders to me, as long as we win, but really she means literally.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want the Mando to keep the Darksaber.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's a bit much.
Yeah, I feel like we're alone in this.
Yeah, I think
I just feel like he's got it all, hasn't he? He's got a big fuck off gun. He's got a spear, and you're gonna give him a Darksaber as well.
Yeah,
but it would be interesting to see
a lightsaber-proof armor. Sorry,
it would be interesting let's try again. It would be interesting to see him like thrust into.
It would be interesting
to see
ruler.
Him
thrust. Full stop.
To see him thrust into being the ruler of Mandalore.
I was wondering if it's going to go that way.
That he has to keep the Darksaber for whatever reason, like Bo-Katan won't fight him or whatever, or she dies, or
narrative instincts would tell me that if Bo-Katan really wants to be the ruler and he's the one that doesn't want anything to do with it, he's more likely to become king, isn't he?
Yeah.
But hopefully I'll do something interesting.
Yeah.
The worst, flattest surprise I thought in the whole episode was when Moff Gideon said, oh, you can take the child because I've got all the blood I need. I think it was you, Terry, wasn't it, that said, oh, he's going to betray him. As soon as his back's turned, he's going to slash at him. And I was like, that seems a bit obvious. I think they're going to do something smarter than that. And then,
slash.
But it's one of those things of like, well, if that was the way it was going to go, why was Mando so stupid? Like, why would you think he means that?
Like, he has a suit that can't be pierced by the Darksaber, so why wouldn't?
And we have seen he gets sloppy. We have seen that the Beskar has made him sloppy, because I remember in an earlier episode, one of the episodes before, doesn't he not have it, or he doesn't realise that he can't?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's last episode when he was in the Stormtrooper disguise.
Yes, that. Yeah, exactly. And he thinks he's like, oh, yeah, I'm actually.
And he gets all the arm plank smashed off. Yeah, that was a cool moment.
Yeah.